Sitting at the intersection of time, space, reality, and fiction floats a yellow eye. Always watching, never blinking. His gaze has witnessed all that has happened before and knows what is yet to come. Countless stories of hope, hate, heroics, and heartbreak. It has no mouth by which to speak these lessons, so it calls upon its head clearer to tell these stories, by word and by deed. Heed the yellow eye's lessons as it gazes upon its servant, just as the eyeball gazes upon you. Our story has already begun.
Hello, my children, and welcome. My name is Alan the Yellow, and I am the High Priest of the Great Yellow Bible. May its gaze be upon you this and every single one of your days. Welcome in. This is not starting. Oh, it's trying to start. It just hasn't yet. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all very much for those hosts. It's Friday, and as you know, Friday is D&D night, and we're playing some D&D. We have one player who was unable to make it tonight. So I will be playing the part of Nutdrock, the cleric, which basically means everyone's gonna die because I'm not healing anybody. That's the bottom line there. But but anyway, started a little late today, but that's, sorry. But here we are. We're here. I'm gonna go unmute, and then we're gonna talk about where we were last week before we started. There's everybody. Hi.
So I missed all of that.
You missed everything?
We can recap if we need to.
That's fine. We'll find out later.
No, we don't have
It
to.
involved gyms and pooping and feeding stuff to the orc.
You didn't have to break it to him so quickly. I mean,
I'm really confused on what just happened, but okay. I don't know what y'all are talking about, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. So, we are...
Pinkus came into a wrecking ball!
Right in the thing.
What? That don't seem safe.
Actually, that is weird. Why is that happening? Hold on, I gotta do a little bit of fixing while I talk here. So essentially, okay. So, sorry, I'm looking for things. I don't know why it's broken. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it continues to happen. I don't know why it hates me, but it do. So I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna go and fix it. Anyway, so let's recap where we were. Essentially, when we left off, you had just met some individuals from two of the factions that take about that are in and about the Sword Coast. One being the Harpers, a secretive group that kind of has individual agency for every agent, and the Order of the Gauntlet, which is all about law and order and things like that. In doing so, you basically kind of learned that they've been trying to figure out what the cult's been doing, and you kind of put a lot of puzzle pieces together with your investigations and things that you've done. So that's well, that's weird. It logged me out. Hold on, give me a second. I can't think and do this at the same time. Which I know doesn't make any sense to anybody, but shoot. My bot broke, and I don't know why. Okay, I'm sorry. This will all get edited out in test and post.
what?
He forgot to rub his butt.
He
Yes.
said his butt broke.
Yeah, I broke my butt. That's
Been
not
eating
what
too
I
many
clicked.
gems.
It ate too many gems. That's... Why are we eating gems? I'm so good. I don't know what you were talking about. I don't want to
It's
know.
Cobalt storage device.
Yeah.
Oh, his prison pocket?
Yes.
When he poops him out, he'll get him back.
Okay.
We're trying to figure out who's
Volunteered.
going to be a cleaning cantrip, though. Is what
Oh.
we're thinking about.
Gems not moving. Gems are food.
Gems are friends, not food. All right. Let me log in, because apparently it logged out. So I gotta type all loud for everybody. And log in. I am not a robot, except I'm logging in on my bot. So there's that. Which is kind of weird in its own way. Weird. Okay. So it should be working now, I think. Anyway.
I love you.
Yeah, there it goes. Now we're fixed. Excellent. Okay, cool. Now, at the end of the day, because the cultists have caught views of you during various times, you were given a small stipend to help cover expenses, and were provided with new weapons, some new armor, and some other things, essentially, to kind of change your appearance a little bit to make you less noticeable. And you went to bed for the night, put up for the evening at the inn in order for you to get on a boat that will take you down the river. By their estimation, as long as you tie off every night, you should make it there in about 3 days to Baldur's Gate. Now, you don't have to tie off, and you can try to navigate the waters of the river by lamplight, but they don't suggest it at all, because it's just dangerous, and you might not be able to see, anything at that point, which can cause a lot of issues for you.
I have 90 feet of dark vision. I'll be fine.
Well, but things come
Could
from
be
underwater.
Piranha in the water. There could be piranha.
Yes. That's one thing it could be.
Venomous duck.
Venomous ducks.
I hate those things. Yeah, so the next morning, you wake up, and you are shown to the boat. Now, this boat is essentially a shallow barge with a small quarter section on it that is more or less just a box with some windows that will provide the group of you enough space, essentially, that you can go in there and get out of the rain if it starts raining or something like that. But essentially, it's more of a cargo barge than anything. So it's not super, super big, but it's like a small cargo barge that they can take down the river. Your only real... on the boat as well, they have a couple of 20-foot poles and some 10-foot poles. And you're basically instructed that these are just like if you start drifting towards the bank, you can push yourself away from the bank. In addition, many of the spots in the river are not so deep that you can't easily, maneuver it with these poles and things like that. So you can push yourself to the side and things like that with the longer poles. It does have a rudder on it as well that is manually controlled just by grabbing it and turning it back and forth. So you can use that as well to kind of help guide a little bit. But essentially, this thing is really made just to float down the river, and that's about it. It can also be brought back up the river, but generally that is only done if you go and get some horses to basically pull you up the side. But it should get you there, and honestly, once you get there, you're not going to need it after that point. So you're just going to hand it off and when you reach the individual that you were supposed to go and talk to, which is a friend of what's his face, Froome, and he will get you kind of set up depending on if anything's been seen before that you get there. All right, so that's where you are, and this is where we are. Right there in the city, and I realized I didn't turn that on, so let's turn this on.
Before we actually leave town, I was actually hoping I could formally align myself with the Order of the Gauntlet.
Yeah, since I kind of wanted you guys to, it's no problem. You easily can just you tell Froome that you do have interest in that, and he kind of looks at you kind of incredulously because folks of your skill set don't usually align themselves, but he's still, not going to turn you away, essentially. That's just not going to happen. So he gives you a small not a charm, but a small pendant made out of steel that is essentially your identifier as being part of this group. He lifts up his very large beard that he has, and you can see underneath his kind of thick neck, completely covered by the beard that you didn't notice it before, he has his tied around his neck. So there's that.
So I can't join the Enclave in this city, right?
No. There is no representative that you know of in the Emerald Enclave. Likely there might be somebody in Baldur's Gate, but since it's a major city. But here was only...
It was just the two.
Yeah, just those two for right now. And, yeah. And I'm going to assume that maybe Nutdrock does the same, but since Nutdrock's player is not here, I will not force or not force him to make that decision. So whenever next week rolls around, we'll deal with that one. All right. So, anybody else got any other?
I'm guessing the poles on the boat are not for dancing.
No, they're basically just
no pole dancing.
No
allowed.
pole dancing. They're more for helping maneuver the boat down the river.
So is it time to start our trip?
I'm wondering. I'm waiting on y'all.
Or did somebody else need to join something before we leave?
Yeah, I think it might be Nutdrock, but I'll wait until he comes back. Willie comes back for sure, and then we'll go from there. Because it's easy to retcon that he did it back in town. Since he won't be able to make it tonight. All right. So, anybody else have
going to join anything?
I'm sorry?
I was curious if Zig had thought about it.
Zig is very hungover and he just wants to nap.
Yep, he was singing all night and then drinking wine. So that's a thing that happened.
He could have joined one without even knowing.
Yeah, he's probably joined all of them.
He's just got a pocket full of pendants.
I love all of you guys.
I love everyone. That's actually really funny to me. Okay, so
that's probably true. You can just put him on his character sheet if he did that. He doesn't remember.
Okay, that may be a thing.
Said yes to anything that anybody asked me.
I love everyone. Yeah. Okay. Somehow I made this too small. All right. So y'all board the boat, and you're untied and the rope thrown into the into the boat itself, and a slight push is all it really kind of takes, and the current of the river essentially takes over at that point. Now, the first day, the river's nice and high right now, because essentially, being that it's, right around late spring and all that, all the ice melt and everything from the Sunset Mountains essentially are feeding the two tributaries that go into the Chanthanar River. And so it's nice and high, and the current is nice and fast. So you make extremely good time. And in your first day floating down the river, before it starts to get dark, you find yourself about a third of the way. You should be here, actually. All right. Yeah, you find yourself easily coming a third of the way down. You didn't specify. Are you planning on tying off, or?
I think we should tie off.
Okay.
Totally should.
No problem. So the first night, the first night and day, or the first day through the night, nothing absolutely happens. It's a pretty quiet evening, and essentially, because it's been warmer, it's actually been a pretty pleasant night so far for all of you. Now the second night, or the second day, sorry. About halfway throughout the day, you find yourself coming up on a stone bridge. Now, this bridge it looks extremely old. It looks like it's been there for a very, very long time. And standing right in the center, easily seen by you, is this very large, ugly creature with large, it's pale and absolutely hideous, and looks a whole bunch like that. Standing in the center of this bridge, watching your boat, your barge, as it kind of floats its way down the river. Now, this bridge covers the entirety of the river, and it does it in a spot where the river kind of narrows from where you are. So, unfortunately, the only way to go is directly under this bridge. Now, on top of that, not only is there the one, but you can see on the far side of the bridge, there looks to be some haphazardly put together barricade with a bunch of sharpened logs and sticks and things all jutting towards you. The water is basically kind of flowing over and around it, but you can definitely see all these crudely kind of tied together stakes and whatnot. As you start getting closer to it, he can't help but notice you, and it seems like he's been waiting for just this opportunity. So not only is there the one, there also seems to be a couple of more. As you kind of float closer to, you can make out a couple of more. Another one on the bridge, and another one kind of off to the side as well. Now, hanging down from the bridge itself looks to be some sort of deer or elk corpse, some sort of hooved animal. It doesn't have a head, so it's hard to tell what kind of animal it was. Could have been a big deer, could be an elk. You're, again, not entirely. Heck, for all you know, it could be a moose. Yeah, so it's all there.
There's food.
And yeah, so the place where it narrows,
Humanoids, not food.
It narrows down to about 40 feet wide. The river does. and from its like it's about 80 feet where you were, and it kind of narrows down to half that under the bridge, and then you can see it kind of spreads out past that. So it definitely kind of looks like this guy is standing there and ready to do the things.
He's not a troll, so he doesn't want toll.
Is this a relative of yours, Zig?
Zig's asleep.
He's still hungover. It's 2 days later. He's still hungover.
So I'll give him a little bop in the side of the face and ask him again if it's a relative of his.
And there's food hanging down.
Oh, humans ain't food, Axios.
No, the deer, the headless deer thing.
Oh.
Food.
I mean, there's that.
Too many words.
Food. On bridge.
Not hungry.
I haven't been hungry for a week. Who am I missing here? There we go.
I think we'll stand up and have a look. So, how many of these not ogres are we looking at?
Yeah, not ogres, because I didn't bother to... So yeah, as you're getting kind of close up to them, once you're within distance, I don't have the boat on there because I couldn't find a good boat that I wanted to use, so you're just going to be on the water.
We all float down here.
That's right. So you're on the boat, kind of looking over, and you're slowly being taken towards this bridge. Now, as you're getting closer, the one that's standing right in front with the carcass kind of laying over the hanging down from a rope on the side, there you can see the one off to the side is the one in the back seems to be holding a rope in his hand, perhaps tied to the barricade on the bottom. So as you get closer, the one in the very front says, Hey, you want float, you gotta pay. Yeah. The other one says behind it, yeah, pay. Yeah.
You're not a troll, you don't get paid.
We need 100. No, says the other one. No, 100 each. And the first one in the front's like, that's what I say, 100. No, not 100, 100 each. That's what I say. And they both kind of go back and forth over arguing on what the actual number is that they're supposed to be using, whether it's 100 or 100 each. And finally, they both kind of stare at you and says, 100! And y'all float a little bit closer here.
Oh,
100 what?
They stop. The first one stops and turns around. 100 what? And the first one says 100 coin each. Yeah, turns around the first one and yells back at you, 100 each coin.
What's 100?
A number.
Let Zig handle this. Zig can handle this.
A number is number 100.
So,
How many?
Go ahead.
Got copper. Give him copper. They didn't say what coin.
Hold on.
All right. Well, so
They can't count.
we're slowly crawling towards a spike trap.
Yeah, at the backside of the bridge. Yes.
Can I stop the boat with a big pole?
Yeah.
You might
You
wanna
can
go to the side.
you can take a pole and use it to kind of slow your forward movement. It does have an anchor as well, so you could toss that off to keep yourself from moving forward as well.
How do we draw those distance lines between us and a target?
control click, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. That plans out then. Shit.
How close are we to Baldur's Gate?
You're about halfway there.
Does
So we definitely need to keep the boat.
Does Zig recognize the area at all?
Not so much this. It's kind of far out.
Too far away.
Yeah,
Okay.
too far away.
I think if we're gonna fight these guys, we need to take the boat over to the side and get on dry land.
I was going to send Zig in to negotiate and have them have a count off.
Hey! Why you stop? You pay!
Can I get out?
We have to count to 100.
So
Am
you
I able
pay?
100.
Yeah!
You pay
No,
100.
100 each!
You pay 100 each, right?
No, no, you pay us! Or you get smashed with rock.
Is Zig able to disembark?
I mean, if you want to jump in the water, yeah. Are you pushing it over? You're pushing the boat over to the side then?
Over to the side and then...
Okay, yeah. So it takes a little bit of doing, but yeah, you're able to kind of push it over to the edge here. Can you go ahead and give me a quick perception check, please?
Zig.
Uh-huh.
All right. I've got all these...
Well,
maps.
everybody, really.
All right.
I'm very perceptive this morning.
I'm so not perceptive at all.
So oh, yeah. All right. So, yeah. All right. So, nothing, you can't see anything as you kind of get up to the edge there. So, everything looks to be fine.
Which means it's not fine. And we'll roll initiative once we get on land.
Hey, why are you doing that? You go here and give us money.
Wait, well, I'm not giving you a dang thing.
What? You not pay?
I ain't paid you
You
spit.
know,
All
kill
right.
you.
So, everybody roll initiative then.
That's a bad idea. All right. King Zazer.
It's always Zazer. I ain't paying you nothing.
You can't have my shiny things. They're my shiny things. Or wait, I'm sorry. They're my kobold shiny things.
That's right.
Pay them. No.
Wow, that is the
These guys are
worst
just
initiative
holding
I've ever seen, Zig.
Our-
It could have been worse.
It could have been
Didn't
worse,
Husk
but
get like a negative one time?
yeah, I think so.
Yes, the turtle was very slow.
All right, and then I rolled for Nutrock, and we're good. Okay. So, you bring yourself. You're kind of over on the edge there. So the boat is actually kind of pulled up to the edge. You can see where it kind of fades a little bit. So the
Was I
boat,
able to disembark before he said this?
yeah, you were able to get off,
All right.
and you're on land right there. Everybody else is.
And it's daytime, correct?
Yes, it is daytime. It's the middle of the day. It's pretty much like high noon at this point.
And Alan,
Yes.
is there crew members on this barge?
No, it's just you.
Oh, it's just us.
It's
Okay.
literally like it floats down the river and you push it around with sticks and the small rudder in the back. There's not a lot of complicated anything to this.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was any crew members.
Yeah, no, it's just you.
Okay. And the horses are on there too, right?
You took your horses? Yes, then they are as well.
I thought that was the plan.
Okay, easy enough. All right, so first things first, round one, Tack, you're up.
Okay, so this area to the left, is that bushes, trees, all of the above?
Yeah, it's kind of like your standard overgrown brush on the side of the water's edge there. So
is
the
it
bigger
salt
ones
drain?
are all trees. The bigger ones that you see there are all trees, but the other stuff is just like thick brush.
Okay, I'm gonna move in there, and I'm going to stealthy.
All right, cool. Go ahead and roll that for me. There you go. That's a nice roll.
And poof, I disappeared.
And poof, you are now hidden. Actually, I think I have that. All right. And next up is Zazer.
So roughly, how deep is this water?
It's impossible to see down into. It's at least a little less than 15 feet deep.
He did just see me use the stick in
Yeah.
the water, if that gives him a guide.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fuck. Yeah, that's the distance for that spell. Alright, we're gonna try it. For
Okay.
funsies. I have a horrible plan, and yeah.
So normal.
Right, he fails.
Oh, most excellent. I'm going to make the suggestion to him to grab ogre number 1, the one on the far right side. Go grab ogre number 1 and run. Run with the ogre while holding him. Would be my suggestion to him.
Okay. All right, so he fails his saving throw. You make that suggestion, and that was your whole movement and everything, right?
Yeah, that's everything right there.
Okay, cool. How long is that's up to 8 hours. Got it. Okay. Uh-huh. All right. So next, Tick.
Okay. So first I'm gonna get off the boat because that just seems like a terrible idea to stay on the...
Okay. Makes sense.
Can I get a shot off on number 2 right now, or can I not see him well enough?
From where you are, no, you can see him. The edges of the bridge are not that tall, and he is, you're looking at 11-ish feet tall, give or take. And, very thick. Him's a thick boy.
Okay. Then, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Hunters.
Okay.
And then I'll just shoot.
Okay. Shoot him. And wow. Yeah, it's a miss. That's terrible for you.
It is. It happens. Oh well. Second shot.
Especially since the other one was a crit.
Wait, the
Ouch.
hunter's mark. What did that do for you? I forget.
It gives me an extra d6 on a attack.
That's right.
But
Okay.
that's bonus action, and then I have my 2 attacks in
Yep.
my first turn.
Yep, that's correct. Okay. Yeah, so your first 2 shots go wide and you completely miss them because it's hard for you to see anything with all this stupid sunlight. All right.
It,
Nutdrock is also going to jump out here I need to look at his spells. And he's not going to do that one. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and the only thing that he really has going for him is he's going to go ahead and tow the bell on the guy right in front. And he can't hit the other one, but there you go. And he fails his saving throw. And since he hasn't taken any damage yet, his necrotic damage, he takes 6 points of necrotic damage. Very well, much pissing him off. And that's his turn. So next is suddenly out of the underbrush, which you completely missed before. An alligator kind of moves up towards you. Or a crocodile, actually, is what I should say.
How the hell did we miss that with the couple rolls we had?
Because they're also good at stealth. They rolled higher.
Question.
Yes.
What's the range of Toll the Bell?
60 feet.
Is there any way that I can talk you into hitting the target behind the target that I have casted on?
It is already done, so...
my spell effect ends at that point.
Oh, I thought you did it on 2. Okay, I'm confused.
I cast on Ogre 3. He was the closest and only one that I could cast that upon.
Okay. All right, my bad. I misunderstood which one you were casting at, so I'm just going to push that out the way.
You told 3 to grab 1, right?
Yeah, I told.
Yeah, I misunderstood. My bad. Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll switch it. That's easy to do. Ogre 3 is 0, and what is that? Ogre 2. If Willie had made that mistake, I would let it fly. But I'm not. I'm juggling too many things, so I'm not going to hold that. I'm not going to hold that against you. Okay, yeah. So you dingy donged the other one. That's fine. All right. So Crocodile 1 runs up. Well, slithers up and tries to bite Zazer and misses. You definitely jump out of the way and are able to get out of the way of it. But then the other one that's standing right next to you decides to make a snap at we're gonna try to bite Toe. That's what we're gonna try to do because you went running by him and you seem far yummier. Because you're smaller and easier to digest.
It's going after Tick or Tack?
Tick.
You missed my turn?
Not yet.
Oh, because I saw my name go by.
Yeah, because when they're invisible, it skips them.
Oh, okay.
And since they were hidden, and I had to fix that. So anyway, so it's gonna try to bite Tick and miss. And then last but not least, the last one kind of is just on the other side. It moves towards the water, but doesn't do much else. Now it's Axia's turn.
Okay.
Someone's getting some boots later.
Come up here and smack Crocodile number 2 for biting my toe. I mean, for biting toe. Or trying to bite toe.
Trying to bite your toe, yes.
Oh,
Toe's not here.
I'm gonna put rage on.
Okay. Rage it up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit with the 22.
Oh, that was crappy roll.
For 7 points of damage.
And then I'll lightning strike him.
Okay. Zappy zappy. Take a nappy.
There's his save.
And he makes his saving throw.
Oh, man, I'm rolling crappy.
1 point of damage, reduced down to 1 point of damage. Okay. Perfect.
That's what I could do.
That's what you can do. All right. So the far ogre runs up on the bridge. And then takes a rock that he has in his hand and throws it at, let's see, we're going to make this random. And throws it at Axia in the back. And his rock misses you with a 13. Number 2 lets go of the rope and runs over here. Actually, hold on. He was here. From here. I didn't mean to spin him, but that's what I just did. There we go. 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. He's going to try to throw a rock at Zig. And that'll hit with a 22.
1 second.
Okay.
I need to check something.
Okay. I'm holding the dice to roll some damages on you.
Zig will use his reaction, and a bright blue shield will pop off from his staff. And how do I cast this?
You should be able to open it up if it's got a cast. There you
That
go.
works.
So it adds 5 to your AC, and that would make your AC stupidly
26.
high. Yeah, 26. So that misses. Look at you with your shield spell. All right, so as this rock hurtles towards you, at the last second, a giant blue shield appears and deflects the rock and keeps it from actually making any kind of hit upon you. Neat. All right, and then, much to his anger, that suddenly there's a blue shield. So number 3 was supposed to grab ogre number 1. And you just said run, right?
Yep.
All right, so ogre number 3 tries to grab a hold of number 1, and number 1's like, "What are you doing?" As his buddy tries to pick him up, and he is not successful in picking him up.
And the comedy
Actually, hold on.
continues.
Yeah, it's not. He's not success. I closed something that I shouldn't have. It's unsuccessful because the other guy kept him from doing so. So, and he just bothered to irritate him. All right, Zig, you're up.
Zig will try and pay the crocodile a gold coin.
It doesn't seem interested in the coin, but it does seem interested in your hand.
Oh, okay. Then he will unsheath his greatsword off his back
Okay,
and take a swing.
and that'll crit.
Got wrecked.
Look at all them damn D6s. Is 29 points of damage. Yeah, you just a simple motion. You reach back, grab your two-handed sword, bring it up, grab it with the other hand, and then just down right on the middle of the head of this crocodile. splitting his entire cranium into 2 pieces, giving him the very odd appearance of kind of having these 4 little pincer mouth things hanging off of him.
Should have took coin.
Rules.
Should tell the other guy, see what happens when you try to give 1 coin and they want 100?
Talk.
Alright. I'm going to pig stick this gator.
Okay.
Is the gator still in direct sunlight?
No. You talking about that one right next to you? It's shaded there.
Yep.
I just put pack tactics on, so I'm at a normal roll.
Okay.
But then you won't have advantage, like you should. If he's in shade, not direct sunlight.
Nope. Then I'll turn that off so I can have it. So many buttons to press.
Only fight in shadow. Never fight in sunlight.
Oh,
But it didn't take it off.
Advantage. You remove pack tactics from yourself.
Oh.
That's why. You removed the wrong thing. That sucks. I don't know how do I force it? Roll it again. I want to try something. And can I not?
In your upper right, the bottom left one, the plus and minus, you can just damage critical.
I thought that's what I was. I don't have a damage critical.
You could just do it, because I'm able to do it to myself. Or I was that one time when I was playing around with stuff.
Oh.
Let me try it.
Oh, double. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Silvered rapier, 2d6 critical. Yeah, cool. That worked.
Plus sneak attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wrecked his world.
That's 23 points of damage. Your rapier has right into his eye, into his brainstem, into his medulla oblongata, and he's no longer ornery because he got all them teeth. Zazer, you're up.
Hold up.
Oh, all right, never mind. No,
I want
Zazer,
to
you're not
move.
up.
My it still remains sneaky. Because
So
that was a bush that stabbed him.
Oh, so you're going to use your bonus action to hide again?
Yep.
Okay. And go ahead and roll that for me. Okay. Cool, a 19. Oh, I forgot, your stealth is redonkulous.
And I can still move, right?
So, yes. Yes. Since you're sneaking, remember it's half movement, so if you want to remain stealthy.
Okay.
All right. Cool, you moved up a little bit. And next is Zazer.
I step forward a little bit. I no pay you coin, but I give you apples. And I throw one of the apples that I have in my bag from town, just at the nearest ogre. Take apple. Keep chucking apples at him.
Okay.
We're friends.
Which one are you throwing?
At ogre 2.
Okay, you're just throwing apples.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, it'll probably do more damage than his Eldritch Bolt.
Probably.
I mean,
Actually,
it's not really going to do any damage at all.
Right. So does his Eldritch Blast.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Shots fired, bro.
Yeah.
Shots
All right. So you're throwing apples at the one guy, and him's like, "Hey, you stop this!" And is that all you're doing?
All right, fine. I'll stop throwing apples then. Kind of agitated. Yeah, it does a lot more damage than...
That's a crit.
What were you saying about no damage, Kobold?
All right, there's 11 points of damage. You kind of strike him right in the mouth as he has his mouth open, which shuts him up almost immediately.
Should have taken my apple.
He essentially feels like he just got punched in the back of the throat.
See, reverse psychology works.
Yeah. That's a lot of crits already. I don't like it. All right, TikTok, you're up.
I'll just shoot at Ogre 2.
Okay. And that'll miss.
Wait, should he not have the negative because he's in shade, right?
Ogre's not, though. Or I'm assuming he's not.
Yeah, he's
You're
out in the
one that
open,
needs
but
to not
I think
have
it's just
sunlight.
you. Yeah. You can't be in direct sunlight.
Rely on sight when you, the target of your attack, or whatever you are trying to perceive as in direct sunlight.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's too bright out there for him. Okay. Easy enough. I was also incorrect. Well, that kind of sucks. Okay. But I guess Pack Tactics is supposed to make up for that, so... all right. Are you moving or anything, or...
I'm fine back here.
Okay. All right. Nutdrock isn't sure what he wants to do now. He may... Yeah, he's just going to do the bell again. It's the best thing for him to use against these guys, so... He's going to just bell the one because he doesn't... The other one still seems to be under the other spell. Fails his saving throw. And now that he's been damaged, takes 2 points of necrotic damage. And he's going to go ahead and move up a little bit. All right. The other crocodile doesn't seem to be doing much at all. Just hanging out on the other side. Axia.
I would too if I just saw my two brothers get obliterated like we just did.
They did get obliterated.
I'm gonna move to about right there.
All right.
And I'm not close enough. Well, I guess I could throw my javelin at him.
Yeah.
I'll throw my javelin at him.
Okay. And actually, you can lightning them too from where you are.
Okay.
You're within 10 feet.
I'm guessing that's a miss.
Yeah. No, that's a hit. An 11.
Is it a hit? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 11's a hit. There we go. 11 points of damage with your javelin, tossing it with all your might.
Do a save.
And then your lightning bolt. He fails his save.
Okay.
And takes 2 points of damage from your lightning. All right. That's that turn. And next up is Ogre 1, who sees everybody coming that way and is currently not beguiled by anything. And we'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That's 35. 40. And will throw his rock at Axia and will hit with a 17. for 8 points of damage. Reduced down to 4. Look at you being all badass. All right. Next up, we have Ogre number 2, who is going to wade in with his great club and taking a swing, and will miss with an 8. Ogre number 3, who's still under the suggestion to pick up the other guy, has moved over and will try to grab Ogre number 1. So Ogre number 3 rolls that, and Ogre number 1 rolls that. Yeah, so he's unable to grab him and pick him up again.
Oh, come on, you guys.
I mean, they both have the same strength, man.
Oh, I know. I'm just happy I'm keeping one occupied at this point.
Mm-hmm. And pissing off the other one. Zig, you're up.
Jay just says we're not paying.
That's right. That's a 24. That'll hit for 13 points of damage. Man, oh man. Y'all doing some damage up in here. All right. I'm assuming you're done, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty big people.
Yeah, pretty big people. That is correct. TikTok.
I'm moving up there next to Zig. Make sure all my stuff is turned on correctly.
Okay.
That's way too many.
Yeah, you have 2 of them.
Just to make sure that I only had one on.
Yeah, I got you. Yep, I see pack tactics. And that's a 25. That'll hit. And 13 points of damage. He is all but... Oh, offhand? Yeah, that's going to hit as well. And with the last 2 points with your short sword, you jam it right into his big fat gut. And he nearly falls on you, but you sidestep out of the way.
Just gonna look at Zig and smile.
Zazer.
You give this a try.
Fail.
Oh, most excellent. He's now paralyzed.
Well, put it on him.
Okay. Effect.
There we go. Paralyzed to Ogre 1. Perfect.
Not.
What's that?
And the paralysis isn't concentration.
Yeah, it's concentration.
Actually, you're right. I'm not going to do that one because I was hoping the other one would carry that one off, and I'm darn it. Okay.
Yeah, but you're concentrating on the other one, so you're not doing that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's stupid. He might just go with the suggestion anyway.
He might actually.
No, because the thing about mind affecting spells is as soon as they wear off, they know who cast a spell on them, and what they suggested that they do.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, actually. I've done too many bad things to that ogre already.
So this guy is no longer paralyzed. Let's get rid of that.
Oh, Jesus.
And another critical hit. Yeah, 14 points of damage to number 1. Okay. That was a nice hit. Again.
Boy.
That's
See,
2
Brother
crits in a
Cobalt?
row. TikTok.
There's lots of damage.
That's right.
Let's see. As my bonus action, I'm going to move my Hunter's Mark to Oak.
Which one?
Ogre 1.
Can't you put that on them?
No, I just put damage on myself when I.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I remember now. I remember now.
I'm ready in action if Ogre 1 comes into the, shade and is within 5 feet of an ally. I'm going to shoot him in the face with sharpshooter active, just for funsies.
Okay. No problem.
And that's it.
All right. Excellent. So, Nutdrock's turn. Seems like he's kind of wasting... Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing. Ding-a-dong. It's his best bet right now. Succeeds on its saving throw, and nothing happens. Crocodile number 3 just hangs out because he is not threatened by nothing. Axia.
Let's see, can I make it to ogre number 1? 5. Is this rough terrain or no?
Not where you are anymore. Under the tree, it's not. The thick brush was right by the water's edge.
Okay, I'm gonna take a swing at ogre number 1.
Okay. Get up there. That's a hit with a 20. And that does 8 points of damage. Go ahead and lightning.
Lightning strike.
And he makes his saving throw. So you do 1 point of lightning damage to him. And Ogre number 1 is very happy that you just kind of walked up to him. And he will take his club and will hit with a 19 for 10 points of damage, resisted down to 5. And Ogre number 2 is dead. So we'll just remove him. Ogre number 3 is again going to try to pick up his buddy. And will...
Come on.
fail again. I can't help it. That's just how it is.
I'll get better with these suggestions, though.
Zig.
Is actually like in the middle? Or...
Yeah, you can. She can go up one or the other, whichever. I actually have him off, I think, too. Yeah, I do. So technically, he's here and she's there.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my count now. Can I hit him from here?
Yeah, you can hit him.
All right.
They should both be here. That's where they should be. And that's going to miss with a 9. Barely, though. Barely, though.
Why not? Let's go for my...
Go to action surge it.
That's it. That's the one.
That's the thing.
Oh my.
Well.
Oh well.
That's in the history of fighters that we've had in this group. That's about normal.
There's a post in the way.
Yeah, that's it keeps
I'm trying to stab him through the corner.
It's just not working. Tack Talk, you're up. And that's going to be a hit. For 5 points of damage. He's looking a little worse for wear. Just a little bit. All right, Zazer, you're up.
Oh, I should have probably done sneak attack on that, huh? Because they're within 5 feet.
I don't remember if that specifies melee.
The attack must use finesse or ranged weapon.
Okay, there we go. Never mind. The problem with playing D&D as long as I have is sometimes...
I just roll another d6.
Yeah, just roll another d6 and I'll add it to whatever number that is. That's 1, right? Yeah, 3 points. Cool. There we go. Perfect. And... yeah, he looks... He's starting to look pretty bad. Tick.
Wasn't that
Wait.
my turn?
Sorry. Zazer. It was already on you, and I clicked it again, thinking it was the end of the other ones. And that's a 1. So that's an automatic miss. That makes up for the 2 crits that you had in a row. I'll take it, and I like it. You moving anywhere, or are you good?
Nope, that's all I'm going to do.
All right, TikTok.
I'll shoot him.
Okay. Shooty in the booty. That's a 10. You will miss.
Who?
Yeah. Just barely though. Your arrow kind of goes whizzing right by his head. It's very close. All right.
Damn sunlight.
Yeah, silly sunlight. Ding a dong. Your pants are wrong. I don't know what that means, but that's going to happen on this guy from Nutdrock.
You assume we're all wearing pants.
That's true. Made a saving throw, so nothing happens from there. And 5, 10, 15, 20. And he's got a halberd, I believe, right?
What's pence?
Yeah, he's got a halberd. Okay, cool, perfect. What's pants? Well, since I've been working at the house, I don't know. So he moves up. He's good to go. Crocodile does nothing. Actually, I'm going to remove this crocodile. Because unless you decide to go over there and mess with him, he's not doing anything. Right. That's going to be a hit with an 18. And 13 points of damage to Ogre 1. Yeah. Very close to death now. And Lightning Strike, he will fail his saving throw. And 5 points of damage. He is critically wounded at this point.
Somebody finish him off.
Well, not before he's going to take a swing at you, because you keep hitting. You keep shocking me. Should just give 100.
You just leave.
That misses. Never mind. He's not going to do anything but swing at you and hit the ground. Ogre number 3 is going to try to grab his friend. And finally succeed in grabbing a hold of him. And he is now grappled. And he will move 2, 3, 4, and pull him with him.
Opportunity attack or no?
You know what? I'm going to allow it, yes.
Okay.
Wait, both get one.
Yeah.
So does Nutdrock.
Yeah, so does Nutdrock.
Actually, he's probably killed him though. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens here. 7 points.
No? Alright.
Nope. Did I roll the wrong thing? I did. Shows how often I play a player. Hold on, let me make sure I hit first. Yeah, 17 will hit him. So yeah, Nutdrock's halberd does him in. And he goes limp in the other dude's arms, but he still is holding right on to him. And yeah, Zig, you're up.
All right.
I like how he's grappled and dead.
I can't see the squares on this.
And they're a little
Being on the
faint.
bridge.
Yeah, especially on the bridge.
Oh, damn it. I can make it. No, wait.
That's 15 feet.
I can make it, can't I? All right.
Yep.
All right. I guess I hit this guy.
Yep. 25 feet. Attack the last guy moving. Yep, that's going to hit him. And all right, 7 points of damage.
I was actually kind of wondering if the guy was going to keep going with the corpse.
Well, he would have, but
Yeah.
Zig doesn't know any better, so Zig's gonna zig. That's just all there is to it.
That's totally fine.
Zig's gonna zig. Tack. Yeah, so he's no longer suggested anymore. He looks extremely confused on why he's holding his dead friend, and then looks at you, Zazer.
Where you going? What's 100?
What? He's still trying to figure out what 100 is. I love it. That's an automatic miss. Moving at all?
Nope.
Zazer. You seem to have his on an undivided attention.
You pay me 100 and we let you live. I take
What's 100?
5, 10, 15, 20. I move up to right there. Already in action. If he's still aggressive and like swings at anybody, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast him. But
Got it. All right, ready to action to attack him with an Eldritch Blast in case he does some stops. Tick. The list of shit that appears whenever you have so many things going on.
And this isn't even my final form.
Yeah, I know.
oh Lord,
I'll just shoot it.
All right. Yeah, 22 will hit.
I finally hit. Oh, I forgot to do a sharpshooter. Oh, well.
That's why you hit. Actually, if
No,
you want a
it still would've
sharpshooter,
hit.
it still would have hit. Yeah.
And as a bonus action, I'm gonna mark off his dead buddy there. Actually, wait, I can't because it's not within 60 feet of me. Probably.
No, I don't believe it is. From you to where?
From me to the other dude. So I'm just gonna damage him. Whatever. I'm just happy I finally hit.
Does it not give me the... Oh, it's 50 feet. Okay. Yeah, so you're within 50 feet.
Oh.
I just did the drew to the thing.
And add another 1 damage to it.
All right.
I can't roll
One
today.
more damage. That is the straw that breaks the ogre's back. Okay. Moving up or anything, or are you good?
I'm good where I'm at.
All right. Nut truck. Oh, I don't know why. I'm playing Nut truck. Never mind.
Let you. You're nut drop today.
I am Nut truck today. I am Nut truck. I have to remember that. Yes. Let's go ahead and ring a bell. Because I can. He will fail his saving throw. And he's taken damage, so he will take 9 points of necrotic damage, getting his life slowly drained out of him. And his life sucks because of that. All right, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And that's as far up as he can move. Axio.
I should be able to reach him from where I'm at, right?
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, it's 30. You can get right up to him.
I should be able to get right there, right?
Yeah, right up. One back. So you either have to stand on Zig or you can be right on top of Ogre 1's corpse. So, yeah. That's an auto miss. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Shocky. Shocky makes a saving throw. As your lightning shoots out from your body, he takes 1 point of damage from the lightning, getting grazed by it.
So I need to move there?
Yeah, right there. And I'm curious, can you grab yourself and move yourself off of him now?
I can.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. That was one of the things that I added. You should only be able to move your own. So when they're stacked like that, instead of having to move everything around, you guys should only be able to grab your own. So,
Ooh, fancy.
that'll hopefully make things work a little better for us. Okay. Ogre number 3 is okay. Okay. I give you 100. And he reaches down. Next, right in the center of the bridge, is a large sack, and he reaches his hand into the sack and pulls out just a handful, a fairly large handful of coins, and just drops it on the ground. And there looks to be a bunch of coins that just went everywhere.
This 100?
Yeah! You say you let go now, right? You too tough! You kill friends! I alone now.
You're just sleeping.
You go.
We have 100. You can run off now, Ogre. Thank you. Can I just wave at him a little
Leave
bit?
the bag.
No, I take bag. That part deal. Give you money.
You gave me 100. Now you have to deal with kobolds.
100 each.
That's what I say. 100.
Each.
That's what I say. On the ground. He's still moving. For
Be back.
I'm not going to do anything about it. I got what I asked for, and
that's as far as he can move anyway. Let's back that up a little bit. That's as far as he can move anyway on his turn, and you definitely can still hear some jingling of metal in that bag that he's taken with him. All right, and that's what he's doing. Zig.
Zig will take his 100.
Just gonna start picking up some of the coins. Yeah, yep. So they're kind of it's gonna take a while because he just basically dropped them. Just like a large handful and just dropped them onto the ground. So they kind of rolled and shattered and flew all over the place. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to pick them all up. So what's that?
Not all of them.
But are you gonna actually? Can you count?
He's just gonna take one.
He's just gonna pick up a coin.
Yeah, it's 100.
Okay. In this case, you were going to pick up. I'm going to make this. I'm gonna roll this, and you pick up a silver coin.
And I'll pass one to Axia.
Okay. Another silver one.
Just 100.
Just 100. You just here you go. It's just 100. All right. Okay. Like Tack's already moving. It's like, nah, you ain't getting away from me.
That picks him up, too.
I see him running, and I try to like beat him to it, and kind of like scoop
You're
up some of the
next.
coin.
Go back. Go back where you were. It's not your turn.
I'm
It's his
going
turn.
after the guy with the bag.
Yeah, 21 will hit. That's 4 points. Hey, you big liar! You say you let me go!
100 each. Leave the bag.
And he looks at the bag and looks at you and looks at the rest of them and looks at the corpses of his friends that are still lying there, bleeding in the dirt, and he drops the bag. Zazer, you're up.
30. I help. I start collecting and picking up as many coins as I can see on the ground.
Okay.
While Brother Kobold's still distracted with that freshly fallen bag of loot.
Got it. All right, Tick. Big guy dropped the bag.
Let's see. I'll just ready an action to shoot him if he does something fishy, I guess. And I'll just get on the boat because by the time I get
By the
up
time
there,
you get off, everything's
gonna...
gonna be. Yeah, I got it. No problem. Yeah, so the boat's just kind of lazily sitting there. And good to go. All right, Nutdrock is gonna make his way over to the loot bag, but he doesn't get very far because he's got little stumpy legs. And Axia, what are you doing?
Where's the loot bag?
Right next,
the loot
right.
bag?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yep, you sure can. It'll be your entire move, but yeah.
I'm gonna go grab the loot bag.
All right.
You're gonna get a firebolt to the back of the skull.
But I'm gonna share it with my.
All right. So Ogre is now leaving. You can take an opportunity attack if you wish. But he seems to be running for his life now.
I'm gonna let him run.
Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna pick up the loot bag.
Got it. All right. No problem. Yeah. So he just takes off running. And that's it. All right. So after you spend some time, everybody, picking up all the coins and things, it looks like in there's a grand total of about 800 copper pieces and 100 silver total that they had in the bag. There was also a filled bag of sand and a filled bag of rice.
Some smart travelers out there, shit.
I'd like to take the coin and split it in with the group.
Okay, so let me...
Oh, she's definitely getting a firebolt.
Oh, I love it.
That bag is mine.
I'm less than interested in the contents of that bag. I have the silver pieces from the ground.
Want the
I'm happy
rice?
with that.
I'll give you the rice.
Oh. And there's a bag, yeah, like I said, a bag of sand. Why is that dagger in there? That's weird. And a bag of rice.
That 100.
I put it in the party sheet, so...
What's rice?
Oh, rice is food, Zig. I'm going to take the bag of rice, actually. Seems like a good thing to have.
You don't want the bag of sand, so.
Sand's also food. It's not moving.
No.
Alligator food. Crocodile food.
How heavy is this copper?
800 coins is 16 pounds.
I'll take the silver. You guys can
Yeah,
split
50.
the
It's 50 coins to a pound.
Zig's already got his one, so
He picked up. He got his one. Yeah.
How many silver pieces was I able to pick up from the ground? Because I wasn't really after the copper pieces.
Okay, so you just picked up the silver while they were picking everything up. Yeah. So you were able to pick up 12.
Perfect.
I'm gonna take 20 silver.
Okay.
I'm taking 87.
Well, it's now 67 because she took 20. Whoops.
Well, 67.
Whoops. There. Can you just grab that and pull it to you? I just want to see if it goes away on its own.
no, it doesn't. I took the copper because I'm guessing nobody else wants to carry that. so-
Okay, and you'll take all the copper? Yeah, all 800 of it?
yeah.
Anybody want the bag of sand?
I'll pass on the sand.
They were very proud about that bag of sand. They were like, we got way more than 100.
I'm dibsing it.
And so
I took the silver, but it didn't remove it.
Okay.
When I
From the
click on
sheet.
the copper...
Okay, I was
it
curious
puts
on that worked. Sorry, go ahead.
When I grab on the copper, it puts 800 copper on my sheet. I'm gonna
Okay.
put it back to 0 though. But
Okay.
so that does work.
Yeah, it's just... Whoa,
Oh.
I somehow just doubled it. Look at me doing things by accident. All right. Did you just add that to your sheet there?
It's
Let's
actually
take the
carrying it.
copper. No, you were gonna take the copper, I thought.
I carry it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whopping 8 gold. But there you go. He got a lots.
And I gave
We're all
30 of
talking
mine
about
to
their
my
100.
brother.
I'm gonna get half my arrows back too.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna retrieve my javelin too.
Okay. Yeah. Cleaning up the battlefield, getting back what ammunition you can.
Anything else on the other ogres?
No, none of them seem to be carrying anything outside of their nasty looking great clubs and their loincloths.
I'm actually curious. Does Zazer know what gods these creatures pray to?
Give me a religion check.
Oh, are you gonna take some alligator skin for boots?
That is a 21. Well, because ogres are essentially a giant, they kind of worship the same pantheon of all giants. However, they're more attuned towards essentially the more chaotic and destructive lesser giant gods, and not so much like the All-Father, for example.
I wish to take a little bit of time while they're squabbling over a coin to say a prayer to try to get these souls to some of their chaotic gods or
Okay.
whatever it is they pray to.
Okay. Cool. Praying to some other god to take them to the thing. Got it. To Valhalla. All right. I don't see the copper pieces. Did you not add them to yourself there, Zig?
Yeah,
Okay. Weird.
I've got 160 gold. Oh, have I put them in the wrong slot? Yeah, I've put lots of coins in the wrong slot. They should all be in carried coin, right? Not coins in the bank. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you remove it from in the bank? Because I accidentally dropped what I picked up in there, but I moved it. It won't let me edit.
You can't. You should be able to change. You're talking about what you're not carrying.
Yeah, because in my silver piece it says 67. In the second slot where coins in bank are carried by pack animal, and I can't remove that.
Okay, that's weird.
Oh, never mind. That worked.
You just press 0, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, you just tried to
It didn't
delete
work.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it for whatever reason, it's one of the cellular bugs that it has, is that it starts out with nothing in it, no 0, no nothing. But as soon as anything is put in it, you can't just delete it, you have to put a number in there, so.
Now I know.
Yeah. I guess it's not really a bug, but it is a bug.
Yeah, so on my character sheet, it should say 160 gold, 5 platinum,
I see
1
it.
silver. Okay.
I got it. It's there now, it was kind of weird. All right.
So how much platinum did we get from those people last time?
We got 5.
Yeah.
Okay, because I only put 1.
Well, didn't Zig get
I'll change it.
because we had that one dude throw a platinum piece for the good singing.
Yeah, he does get 1 for that. All right, so the rest of the day kind of goes off without any kind of issues whatsoever.
Oh, so I guess we should all be back on the boat.
Oh. Before we
Are you-
leave, I
okay.
wanted to see where that rope was going, connecting to.
Oh, yeah, so the rope is connected to the makeshift gate that was placed across the back of the bridge.
I think we should destroy this contraption before we leave.
Probably not a bad idea. I'll help Toe destroy it.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't. It's kind of rudely kind of tied up. They basically went in and broke some holes on the side of the bridge and essentially just tied this thing to it. The rope that the one in the back was holding is essentially, he pulls up on it and it would lift it up out of the water to let people pass once they paid their toll. So it only takes a little bit of cutting of those ropes that are holding it, and it quickly just kind of falls apart. And while all that's going on, before we finish up our rest of the trip, that we are at that halfway point. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll take about 15 minutes, and we'll be back here at about 9:30. Oh, all right. We are back up in here. We've got all our players. Is everybody back? You back? I'm back.
Yeah.
Are you back?
Guess who's back?
Alan's back. Tell a friend.
Back again.
So there was an onion downstairs, and I ate it like an apple for some reason because I didn't have anything else quick to snack on, so I ate it. I ate an entire onion. That's a true story.
Goblin at heart, man.
Because I do weird things.
Ears.
All right.
Fact. Alan's an ogre.
Yes, and I have layers.
Yes, you have layers.
I have all the layers. Some of them even appropriate. I don't know what that means.
You are
Like a
not
parfait?
Not a parfait.
Not a parfait. Yes.
Everybody like a parfait.
All right, so after clearing the way and destroying the makeshift barricade and killing some ogres and some crocodigators, you finish out the rest of your day relatively unbothered by anything that's going on. And the last day, absolutely nothing happens, and you find yourselves making your way into the grand city of Baldur's Gate. Now, Baldur's Gate is essentially a city separated into a few different sections. Essentially, Baldur's Gate is this built on the side of a mountain over this large kind of natural bay that is kind of perfect for the ships that are coming in from the water, and also provides an easy access to the river further inland. The coastway goes to the south of the city, and then for the north of the city, which is not on this map for some reason, is the tradeway, which heads northward and up to the rest, and following up past Dragonspear, connecting to the tradeway, and then heading past Daggerford, and eventually making its way up to Waterdeep. Now, essentially, the city is completely... they don't allow a couple of things, and one of the things that they don't allow is wagons or horses or anything like that, because it's been built on this essentially kind of cut into a wall. It has these very steep and narrow roadways in various places. So in order to keep the order in the city, essentially no horses, no wagons, or anything are allowed to traverse in the city itself. Now, because of this, the city has flourished because generally people coming from one direction or the other, they come to the city, they unload their goods to sell there, they load back up on goods that are from places far away, and then return directly back to their home in order to sell for a profit for all these other things. So very rarely does anyone actually go from the city from south to north. Nobody really does it, except for, a few here and there where, they have to do it. So, because of this behavior, there's a section of the city that's called Outer City. And essentially, it's a group of small villages that don't actually belong to Baldur's Gate itself, but because they have kind of grown up around it and have basically made a business of buying carts, selling various kinds of things like wagon wheels and various things that convoys and traders would need to help them with their journeys. It's kind of grown up everywhere, and that on the north side of Outer City is where your contact is supposed to be. Now, as you sail into Baldur's Gate, you're essentially taking that river. Why won't that grab it? There we go. You're essentially coming in on the river from the the east side, and making your way in. There is, high cliffs kind of on the water, so you can't easily get up anywhere. But you find yourself essentially floating your way up to the bay that is part of Baldur's Gate. Now, the upper city is essentially where all the nobility and essentially the folks that make the money. That is their primary residence and where they all live. The lower city is essentially where everybody else is. It's essentially, there's a lot of things going on with Baldur's Gate. It's been known for a lot of big things, but recently it's there's a watch that kind of takes care of the northern part of it, and and it's just a big trade city that makes a lot of money, and a lot of money flows through it just because of its location and the laws that exist to make it very difficult to traverse it going north to south or south to north. And there's the dog.
Why is cat barking?
That's what cats do.
But yeah, so they're like, as soon as you kind of start sailing up and to the big, you can just tell it's busy. There's like, there's various ships that are docked at various piers throughout the area. You can see porters unloading things, picking things up and carrying them. Not a single pack mule or anything like that. Just essentially people walking around loading up carts, hand carts, wheelbarrows, things like that, and walking through. On occasion, you do catch some of these boats, some of the nicer looking ones, where individuals are being carried off, and basically those covered, like you see in various movies and whatnot, where it's covered on all sides, carried by a few human beings, and it's hard to see who's inside of them. It seems like that's a common thing here for some nobility who are traveling and don't necessarily want to be seen in the public in the lower city as they make their way up to the upper city where they live. So there's just a lot of activity coming on as you kind of move your way in.
Well, the brothers are becoming tow before we get inside anywhere.
Makes it sense? Yeah.
Enthralled by the sight of all the people carriage people. I'm just.
Zaza,
Yes, Zeg.
Zig live here.
No, I don't live here. Just
No.
amazed by the sight.
No, Zig live here.
Oh, Zig live here, really?
Yeah.
Like, do you have a home nearby, or like just at the inn?
Zig didn't write that in his background.
Oh,
He's homeless. He lives on the street.
Maybe you have to roll for that. Where would Zig live? He was part of the watch. Would he be in the watchtower in the upper city, or would he be a lower city guard?
I mean, city. So the watch is the upper city. So essentially, yeah, you were working the upper city part of the watch.
Of course, what the meet is at the Black Gate, right?
Yes.
So Zig would have slept at the barracks in the watch.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Zig would have slept in the barracks of the watch.
Yes.
In the upper city.
Yes. In any one of the the various guard towers and guard locations that exist in the upper city area. Essentially, those circles that you see on the map, the various guard towers, is where there would be a place for you to get some shut-eye if you choose to. They, because of the nobility and their sensitive natures, there's not really a big open, area outside of the guard towers that is set aside for the guards themselves, since this is for the nobility to live. And the Black Gate, yes, the Black Gate is the one on the north side.
That's
The
where
north,
the guy
yeah,
is.
yeah. Essentially, when we talk about the northern, the part of the outer city, the northern part of the outer city, we are talking about this area that I'm circling up here. So what y'all doing?
Go to get off the boat and try to make my way to the Black Gate area.
Just so the magic users know, Baldur's Gate is massive, and there are probably magic item shops.
Baldur's Gate is absolutely massive. It's probably the biggest city that you've ever seen in your life.
And as I'm wandering, as I'm going around, I'm gonna see if I can find where I could join the Emerald Enclave.
Okay. So the city is absolutely bustling, and there's people everywhere. And what seems even stranger to you is that normally you get, because of your sheer height, Axia, and the nature of your race in general, you're used to getting some strange looks. Nobody necessarily is getting angry with you or anything like that, but you're used to kind of getting these sideways glances or double takes at your sheer size and mass of essentially being a Goliath in a land of very small people. But here it seems like you're just another face in the crowd. Although your face is much higher than the majority of people here, you don't seem to get nearly as much attention as you tend to get elsewhere. So it's very cosmopolitan, and you're while not common, you're definitely not uncommon. They've definitely seen folks like you in this area.
Okay. I'm gonna ask around and see if anyone knows where I could find someone that belongs to the Enclave.
Okay. So you kind of you're asking around about the Emerald Enclave, and most people are busy, so they kind of ignore you and just are going about their business without really paying attention to what you're asking even. But eventually, you're able to stop someone who eventually just kind of laughs a little bit. It's like, you ain't gonna find one of them in the city, love. And he continues on to his way.
Okay. So he said, I'm not going to find one in the city.
That's what he said, yes.
Okay. I'm going to keep heading up towards the Black Gate area.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
I just want to travel with Axia and just be generally aware of my surroundings.
Okay.
I sent you a whisper.
Yeah, I saw that. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Okay. Okay. So as you're kind of asking around, nobody really knows. Like, everybody has these vague understanding of where these could possibly be. Like, there was one over on the hill, there was one over here, there was one over there, but all their directions are fairly vague. And even if someone says, "Oh yeah, it's right over here," it doesn't always turn out that way. It's not there, or it's an old abandoned shop that no one's been at, or it's just been like a creepy storefront that they think somebody lives there. But as you spend more time in the city, making your way up and searching around, so every one of those is going to be kind of like essentially a day worth of asking around, by the way. So
Could just ask Sig. So what are you looking for?
Care.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the first day you're not able to get much help with that, but the second day you'll be able to. We'll talk about the second day. What's everybody else doing on the first day that you're here?
Without necessarily wandering too far from the group, I'm just kind of cruising around, kind of checking out the city, see if there's anything cool. Maybe a different kind of apple, who knows?
There's fruit from all over. There's fruit you've never seen before in your life. Things like mangoes and other things that, normally is never seen this far north. Just stuff from all over the place. You've never seen such a cornucopia of just random from everywhere stuff. And if they are to be believed, the various hawkers of goods, they're from Cholt, they're from, places that you've never even heard of, from the lands of the Shao, just all sorts of things from all over.
Ooh. I want to spend some time with these vendors, purchasing various pieces of exotic fruit, and just making an evening of it.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead. We'll spend 5 gold, and that's going to be essentially spending an entire day buying all the exotic fruit you can get your face on, and eating it. And so it doesn't take you long, Axia. By the way, once you kind of get up north to start asking around and finding your contact, he runs a very large, he essentially has a really large, store where they fix wagons. So he's got essentially a large area where wagons are brought in and repaired and whatnot. And in addition to that, they buy, refurbish, and then sell wagons. They also sell various sundries like for wagons themselves, such as extra wagon wheels, extra cart wheels, extra bridles, all the things that might wear out in a long trip, and that may need to be replaced. The place is pretty busy overall, but once you kind of introduce yourself to him and who you're coming here for, he has no problem basically saying, well, so far there's no sign of them that he has heard of. But the good news is because they are pretty sure they're going to go north, there is a better than average chance that because of his location and everything, that if you hang out either at his place or any one of the many tent and shanty taverns and bars that are around in North City, you'll probably figure out when they come through. Because if they're going to go anywhere, likely they're going to come to his place, because his is one of the most well-known areas, or well-known stores to do these kinds of large amounts of sales, and usually always has enough stock for anything. And if they're bringing as much as they believe they are bringing, we will definitely probably notice them.
Okay.
But nothing's come up yet. Yeah, so... And I will say that it definitely is going to take a few days. So, likely just by estimation, dealing with, talking with Froome and Elosin and all those, that their estimation is probably another 10 days, give or take, before they might actually get here. You made good time, via the horses to the north, to Alturiel, and then 3 days of travel down the river, and they're essentially taking this very large convoy northward. They just don't know, they're unsure. They can pick out some individual carts, but not all of them. They're more difficult to kind of piece together. But since they're probably going to be all meeting here based on the information we know, we'll have an easier time finding them. So you actually, Tack, after some time, or I should say Toe, since both of you have a little bit of time, you're able to eventually find a procurer in Upper City that kind of deals with strange little baubles and magical devices. He tends to cater to things of whimsy and more or less toys than practical magical items. But of all the things that you have been, talked about, this one holds the most promise. You were kind of given when you make your way there. While you make your way there, one of the first things you notice about the place is when you first walk in, there's a very thick scent of just incense and smoke in the air, kind of a mix of incense and tobacco and pipeweed smoke, and essentially the place is fairly well lit. It is well furnished. Glass cases kind of all over the place. But you do definitely notice that there are multiple very well armed guards all over the place in here.
What about the outside?
Who's
The building by
outside?
itself?
Pretty much everything here is a bunch of stuff kind of built together on top of each other. It's in an affluent shopping area in Upper City.
Okay.
Is anybody with Toe?
I am.
Yeah.
My butt.
He says I am. Says his ass. I follow this guy everywhere.
So is the butt of his jokes.
Yes, that's true. Whether he wants to
Yeah.
be or not.
My brother's an ass.
I'm gonna ask the contact. His name was what was his name? Akin?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask him if he knows where I can find someone that belongs to the Emerald Enclave. Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yes. He's like, you may want to look around here. There won't be any in the Upper City, but I can tell you that we do get the occasional ranger or sometimes even the occasional druid that passes by. They would probably be the best to ask. I know nothing about them.
Okay, thank you for your information.
No worries.
I shall check in every now and then to see if you've seen anything of the other group.
Okay. All right.
So I'm gonna wander around and see if I can find anybody.
Gotcha. All right. So, what about who we missing? Who have we heard from? Zig, what are you doing this whole time?
It depends what things are in this version of Baldur's Gate. Can I draw on the map somehow?
You should be able to right-click it and go to the bottom where it says drawing. Looks like a pin.
Okay.
If you have that, yeah.
I think this corner on the left has the Watch Citadel.
Uh-huh.
Zig will be hanging out with the guards.
Okay. Yeah, and they have, you still have proof of your rank and all that as part of your belongings. So, and many of them remember you fondly, even though, you
Even though
didn't
just
always,
put him on gate duty.
yeah, you didn't necessarily catch on, but you all you had to do was stand in the background during disputes, and that pretty much ended almost every dispute. So you didn't even really have to do much. Your size was enough to make a difference in a lot of situations. So, but they all had fond memories of you and whatnot. So they definitely are, buying you drinks and paying for food and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about any of that right now. So what is your plan there, Toe? What you
I'd
doing?
like to see if they have something remotely similar and what it might cost.
Okay. So as you're kind of looking around,
And what else they might have that would be entertaining, since you said he was a guy that likes to do like fun things,
like weird little baubles and things like that. Yeah, you're talking small things like crystals that you can hold up and then spin it in between your fingers, and it'll just kind of hover in between your fingers without touching either one. You know, small little weird trinkets that you know are always cold to the touch for some reason, like small vials of water that are just always cold, no matter, you know, you can put them in a fire and they still remain cold. Just weird little stuff like that, just all over the place. But you're asking about some sort of magical storage, yes?
Yes.
Magical storage. Oh, yes. I can see you. You are one of going out into the land and seeing everything that there is to see. Very discerning taste, I might add. Yes, I can tell. Well, let's see what we might have here. I believe that maybe I have one in the back. I believe we may have one of these. Give me just a second. Boys, make sure our guest is entertained and whatnot. And some of the other workers in there that have been kind of milling around, some offer you like a small glass of wine and things like that, as you kind of wait for the old man to come back.
They're gonna hand me wine. I'm gonna pour it into one of the empty vials I have.
It's gonna probably, for a glass of wine, you're talking probably 2 or 3 vials.
Okay, I'll fill up like 2 and drink the rest.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if you wanted to pour all of it in there. They kind of look at you a little strange when you do it, but they're kind of used to eccentric people in this particular establishment, so they don't pay too much. And after a little bit of time, he kind of comes back and he plops this kind of ornate looking bag down, and it's essentially a sack that it's essentially a backpack that you've seen. You know, it's got a huge central pouch, and then there's also a couple of smaller pieces or smaller bags kind of on the side of it. It's inlaid with these very the leather of it is embossed with all these various pictures and things like that. It's just a very beautiful, well-crafted backpack. It looks like it was well taken care of. The leather is nice and oiled. It definitely, none of the straps or anything have cracks or frayed edges or anything like that. It looks like he may have even went to the back and oiled it up himself before bringing it out, as it still looks a little bit, kind of like freshly oiled.
So, tell me more about this. What can it do?
Well, you put things in it. And he kind of chuckles at his own joke and then winks at you. But I kid, this right here is much bigger on the inside than what it looks like. Why, you can take and put 80 pounds in this, but yet, and he kind of tosses it over to you for you to catch it, and when you catch it, it weighs about 5 pounds. Go ahead, open it.
Okay.
So when you open it up, inside of it is a
bread and a monkey. Come on.
There's a bread, a bag, and a monkey. No, there is a there is a bunch of sand bags inside of it.
This bag is full of sand.
Well, the bag has bags of sand. It's not just filled with sand. But yeah, it's essentially like large bags. You're talking like a sandbag size bag, and there's multiple in there. He's like, yes. See if you pick one of those up. Give it a lift.
Okay.
As you pull the bag of sand out, the bag itself, the bag of sand feels like it weighs about, maybe 5 to 10 pounds by itself. And there is a bunch inside the bag. So you're counting if each one of those bags of sand is 5 pounds, then you're looking at about 40 pounds worth of weight sitting in that bag, and you were just picking it up like it was 5 pounds.
Fancy.
Not only that, there's one last thing. Here. And he takes he's like, he reaches out his hands to get the bag back from you. Now watch. And he grabs off the side, there's a small ball that's, you didn't really notice it kind of before, but it was just sitting on the table, and it would just randomly, it's like a stone that just randomly changed colors. So it would be like red for a while, and then it would kind of fade into a purple, and then off to a blue, and just slowly just shifted colors the whole kind of time it was sitting there. In the hullabaloo of all the weird things that are going on inside this shop, it was just another weird thing amongst a shop of weird things. And he takes it and he puts it in there and kind of picks it. You can kind of see him moving stuff around in there, and he puts it. It's like, now I have put this in the bottom of the bag. Yes.
Yeah.
Here. Now put it on. And know what you want to pull out of the bag. And then reach behind you and get it. And I want you to think of that color stone.
Okay.
All right. So as soon as you reach back in the bag to reach for it and you're thinking about getting the color stone, as soon as you touch something and put your hand on it, you realize that you did not grab a burlap sack. You put your hand around a smooth stone. And when you pull your hand forward, you can see it in your hand. So somehow the bag knew exactly what you were reaching for and made sure that it was at the top of the bag.
Oh, this thing just gets better toe-like.
Yes, I can see that. And then someone discerning like you should always have the best equipment. Yes. Yes, of course, I know. So, is this something that interests you, my good sir?
Yes, as long as the price is right.
But it always does come down to that. It's always about the money. I was once a little bit of an adventurer myself. I've spent some time, traversing the dungeons of this great and wonderful world that we have. It's so full of mysteries. In fact, that's where I was able to purchase my first storefront and created this empire you see before you. And it kind of, as soon as he says kind of empire, this metal frog that was sitting in front of him suddenly just kind of jumps right at him, and he catches it out of the air. It's like, these things can be buggers, and he puts it back down on the tabletop. So, these aren't exceptionally rare, but they aren't especially common either. But being one as an adventurer such as yourself, I know that money is almost always never an issue with your type. Yes, so you've been ever so nice, and I think for you and for today only, 1,000.
1,000 copper?
Sir jests with me. No, of course I mean gold.
What does platinum translate into?
10 gold.
Oh, that's it. Wait, I have those stones that could potentially be worth stuff. I have pearls. I have a gold and sapphire ring.
Okay. All right. Are you holding those up to offer?
Yeah. I have
Okay.
things to trade.
I see one has things that are not of monetary value, but still of value. I see. Excellent. And which of these are you planning to give me? Or are you giving me them all?
Oh, not all. What interests you? What would interest you in trade?
Oh, well, let's see here. And he pulls out a stool from behind the counter. Excuse me, Stefan. Could you bring me my... Yes, on the counter. Please bring me my kit. Thank you. As one of being an adventurer, as he kind of sits and kind of crosses, he puts his elbows on the desk and crosses his fingers in front of us. As one of my many talents that I had as I searched about was not only was I looking for small magical trinkets here and there, I found myself being very fond of gems and stones and other beautiful stones. Like, not unlike the ones you have here. And I had taken up as a hobby, mind you, a little bit of jewel crafting, but not so much as the craft itself, but knowing what a good cut is and being able to suss about the actual value of these types of things. Oh, thank you, Stefan. And he reaches up and grabs the case from the young man that brought it over to him. Lays it down, and he kind of lays it out and unfolds it, unzips a couple of pouches, takes out a small metal cylinder that has a couple of lenses on both sides, kind of puts it up to his eye and starts taking a look. Is like, yes, yes, okay, this is good, okay. And he takes the ring and kind of sets it to his side and says, "Oh, this is." And he kind of looks at each individual pearl on the strand, and a couple of times he actually takes a candle with a couple of mirror reflectors around it and adjusts it a little bit to kind of give him a little more light in the area that he's working. And yes, and then he kind of takes a look at all the various stone, the precious stones that you have of various kinds. He's like, yes, so what I would say, since again it's rare to meet someone of your caliber to come into such a store as mine, and I am giving you a deal here, so if you would, I would take this ring and these pearls off your hands if it would be to your liking, in trade for this lovely piece of equipment.
Done.
Excellent. And he quickly, Stefan, could you return, please? And he takes both the ring and the string of pearls and quickly kind of flips his hand over and sticks it into a pocket on his robe that you didn't quite notice before. The robe seemed to kind of open up into a pocket, and he put his hand in there and pulled it out, and it seemed like the robe resealed itself directly over where the pocket was, and it's like nothing was there again. He's like, here, take back your jewels. These are... And as just a bonus tip, each one of these is worth to be about 100. So don't you take less than that from anywhere else. That's just a little service that I would give from me to you, for no charge whatsoever.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes. So Stefan, can you please take the props out of the bag for Sir here and then bring it back for me? And while you're in there, just make sure that none of the bags that leaked inside of it, we don't want to give a soiled bag to our fine customer here. Yes, sir. And the kid kind of grabs it and takes it to the back. You hear a couple of thumps from somewhere in the back that are just, they're really loud. And you kind of just, in your mind's eye, based on the sound, you think this kid just went in the back and turned the whole thing upside down and just let everything fall out of it. So there was about 8 or 9 just really heavy, meaty thumps hitting the ground. Thump, 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 thump. And you could see the proprietor almost turn around and react to the sound, but stop himself before losing composure. And then he kind of runs back in, says, and as he just like, thank you, Stefan. Now please go clean up the mess that you assuredly had left in my workroom. So he kind of takes it over. He looks it over real quick and sees a little piece of fuzz or something on it and quickly takes it off and says, your bag, sir.
Excellent. This will be handy for tow.
Yes, it will. All right, so pearls are gone and the ring is gone. All right. And there you go. Let's put this in your inventory. It's there. All right.
I have a feeling that ring was worth a lot more than this bag.
Not when I'm done using the bag.
While they were doing that, is Zig able to get Axia, Nutdruck, and Zaza inside the Watch City through the Watch Gates?
Yeah. Just you're again. They keep an eye on you, obviously. Because they're not 100%. They don't know anybody else. They know you, but they don't know anybody else here. And for all they know, in you could be easily tricked into believing that there's someone that they are someone that they are not, and they might be bad news just using you to get inside. So they're definitely keeping an eye on you.
Zig's going to tell them stories of how Zaza's in charge and how many times he saved Zig's life.
Okay.
I'm going to keep offering them apples.
Just all the apples that you have.
And tell them stories of the big blue dragon guy that
they listen intently. A lot of the guys are really into the stories, but they like when things get really like out of hand, like they essentially like the actual killing of Leg, which I'm sure you're still calling him Leg. They kind of looked at everybody in the rest of the group like, is this like really? Like, did this really happen? Because they always knew that you were strong, but they never took you as the type to, take on a cunning enemy and win, essentially.
He did leave in chainmail and he's come back in full plate.
That's true. I mean, you are decked out in a bunch of armor, so that's true. It's like,
Isn't your stick glowing still at this
Yeah, and the stick's
blue. Wait, and that part really kind of
You have a
confuses
pet?
them. Especially the cat that seems to always be just sitting on your shoulder while you're telling all these stories. And they ask you, so what's with the cat?
Who's a cat? You don't know what cat is?
Yes, Zig. We know what a cat is. They roam all over the city. They kill mice and things. But why do you have a cat?
Shig's friend.
Is it a stray? Did you just find it, or
Talk to it.
you talked to it?
Yeah.
Did you somehow learn magic?
Zazer magic.
I just give him that kind of nod and kind of mouth. Yeah, it's totally magic.
I never would have thought I'd seen the day, but here we are. And they're just kind of flabbergasted about the whole thing because Zig was. Did Zig tell him the story about eating people? I don't know. Did he? What other stories did Zig tell?
He's pretty loose-tongued.
Okay.
He'll even bring out trinkets.
Their faces turn to disgust when you start talking about eating kobold wings. That is not a thing they expected to hear.
Come find hot sauce.
Welcome to Buffalo Kobold Wings.
Zazer said not eat little
It's the
people.
other white meat.
Kobold, the other white meat. Quick, someone put that on a t-shirt. All right, so sorry, I'm just thinking of Kobold, the other white meat. I can't not think about it.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so
Ever find anyone that knew about the Enclave?
so after spending some time, you do meet a couple of individuals who seem to know something, or at least let on that they know something about the Emerald Enclave. So why do you want to know about the Enclave?
I would like to join their guild. Or whatever it is. Is it a guild?
It's a faction.
A faction. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I would like to join up with them
Really?
and become a member.
So how did you hear about us?
I was talking to some people in
Mushroom.
Etril. Huh?
Froom.
Froome. Yeah.
Mushroom.
Leosin and Froome,
Yeah.
and Froome was talking to us about joining a faction. And I thought that the Emerald Enclave would be a good fit for me.
And they both kind of look at you, and they look at your size and the weapons that you're carrying and your lack of armor, and all those things. And so you are one with nature then. Yes, you're one with nature?
Yes. I'm guessing. I can be.
We have no formal joining process, but someone of your great strength could be of use. We do not have any structure. There are no places that we gather until we gather. Those places become ours, and then as we leave, those places are no longer ours. We ebb and flow like the tides. We work solely, yet as a group. We are both the ant and the anteater. If this is a path that you want to join, then I would be glad to call you my sister.
Thank you very much.
So he kind of he is like, I have no emblem to give you. However, I have heard that within the next day or so, a high druid shall be through this area. They will be traveling alone and likely as a bear. You will probably know them when you see them. And they both kind of laugh because, yeah, when you have a bear just walking through town, that
Yeah,
it's
you're gonna
probably
notice that.
yeah, you kind of notice a thing like that. Seek them out and tell them that the ice dagger has vetted you.
Okay.
And they both kind of nod and is like, and with that, and he kind of stands up with his friend and says, we will be on our way. And I'm sure the drinks are on you. And they both kind of just turn and walk off, kind of leaving you there to pay the bill.
Okay. How much do I owe?
4 gold.
Okay.
All right. So over the next couple of days, things kind of go by without much fanfare or anything like that. Zig tells his stories to his old friends of the things that everybody has gone through since he's left, and then he would tell stories of all the things in the city to his new friends. And that one time that he guarded the gate, and that other time that he guarded the gate, and that one time that he guarded 2 gates at once.
Pretty big guy.
Yeah. and all those kinds of things as a town, as a watch in the upper city. And some of the other some of his old friends would essentially just talk about how all he would have to do was walk in a room and fights would stop. Nobody in the noble faction wanted to, break the peace when that big ass orc was around. And many wanted to complain about him, but we would not having it because he did his job and he did it well. And he kept people in line just by being scary.
Sure.
And so after a few days, right, of this, and you kind of get bored of going around the city, although there's always new things to see essentially everywhere. You are here for a mission. So after a couple of more days, as you're just kind of hanging out in the main area of his store, essentially seeing the comings and going, one day your contact comes to you and essentially says, I've just heard from some folks, and our quarry may have indeed arrived this morn. So keep your eyes open for anything suspicious. So after a bit of time, as the day goes on, you see a group. Again, it's really strange to see individuals coming from the north or from the south to the north, or going from the north to the south. For the most part, everything that you've noticed is essentially folks coming into the north, coming in from the north, getting all their stuff offloaded, brought into the city, and then a day or so later, they would come out with a different set of stuff that they would load back up into their carts, and then they would leave again. It seemed to pretty much always be that. Every once in a while, you will see someone unload their carts, sell them off, and then actually sell their carts and go into the city. But it was only, small amounts. That wasn't in any way, shape, or form this large horde that was supposed to have been supposedly taken. So eventually you do start noticing, just onesies and twosies, individuals that look familiar to you. You've seen them before. Maybe not head on and maybe not for long periods of time, but people are starting to look like people you've seen before, and not like I've seen them since we've been at Baldur's Gate. These were people that you saw in the cultist camp as you were walking around it. Especially you, Zazer, since you got a really close look at a lot of people, since you were kind of stuck in a crowd of many of them. So some of them are starting to look familiar. As time kind of goes on, you see a large group of individuals that are also essentially with them is they're carrying with them a palanquin, and it's a pretty decent group of people. You've been kind of staying out of the way for the most part, so they don't seem to really notice you, but they do come up to the very place that you your contact works, and they quickly buy multiple carts from him and horses to drive them. And as soon as the transaction takes place, there is a lot of and they actually purchase more horses than they need to run their carts. So they each it looks like 5 carts total are being purchased, and enough horses to pull the carts, plus a few more extras.
Oh man, they're spending some money here.
And as they're getting all this stuff together, as soon as they purchase them, they start loading up. Porters start loading up their carts with just boxes upon boxes. Now, all these boxes are enclosed and sealed up, nailed shut. There's no kind of idea. There's nothing that you can tell from where you are right now, essentially, what these things, what's inside these various boxes.
Donations to the good side.
So as they're kind of loading all those things up, and as they're working, your contact comes back from them. It's like, so are these your people?
Looks like it.
Yep, totally does.
That's what I thought. Okay. There's actually a convoy slated to leave tomorrow. I know someone who's hiring on guards. So give me a few. I'm going to go talk to them, and then I'm going to send you into a warehouse. Once you go to that warehouse, all I need you to do is tell them that you're there to go on the next day's morning shift. And tell them that I sent you. They won't even ask twice for credentials. And so with that, he kind of turns and walks off. Now, you do notice after the things kind of get loaded up, they do take all of their stuff and they pull it over into what looks to be kind of almost a staging area. They have this area kind of set up on both sides of the road, with numbers on each side, essentially kind of lined up, and it looks like they're there for folks to essentially get their stuff set up for the next day's travel or whatnot when leaving. It's common here in the Sword Coast where, in order to provide better safety for all of them involved, that it's better to travel in larger groups, and essentially just because when traveling in a very large group, when you only need to hire a few guards for each individual cart instead of a bunch to protect your cart, and generally that just makes you safer for the show of numbers. It's real easy for a bandit group to, hit a cart with a small family on it and a couple of guards. They'll think twice about hitting, a group of, 10 carts with each with 3 or 4 guards with like 30 guards on it. So the common thought here is that the more, the safer. And by doing that, each individual merchant on the convoy does not have to pay as much in order to keep themselves and essentially the others with them protected. So after the time goes on, one thing you do notice is also the one in the palanquin. As they finish packing everything up, one leans into the palanquin to talk. And what I would like just all of you, go ahead and give me a perception check. Okay.
Yeah, Zig doesn't bother.
Good God, Tack, you saw nothing. Oh, disadvantage. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, Tack, the one thing that you happen to notice is that when after the human got done talking to whoever was inside the palanquin, when they pulled their head back, there was a brief moment where the flaps of the palanquin kind of opened a little bit. And you're not entirely sure, but you seem to catch a glimpse of black scales.
That's not good.
So they were... After that, the palanquin was picked back up and taken up, and you kind of lose sight of them a little bit. But you do know that they're not slated to leave until the morrow, as that is exactly what was told to them by the one they were buying the carts from. So after about an hour, your contact comes back and gives you the location of where you need to go in and get hired on. He's like, there's multiples there currently vying for various jobs for the one leaving in the morning. So if you would, and he kind of points in the general direction, it's like, thus begins our great trek. And he kind of winks a little bit as you guys as you guys head off to the location. I'm assuming that's where you're going anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
On the way, I'm gonna see if I can spot the bear.
Okay.
I still need to find the bear before we leave town.
Yeah. All right. So you don't necessarily notice a bear immediately as you're kind of going in and doing your stuff. You do find the location in which they're going, and you know which area that they're leaving in. So it doesn't take you long to figure out where you're supposed to be essentially trying to get hired on as guards. It's pretty, while it seems fairly unorganized, where there's just kind of people milling around. They seem to have numbers of set up that matches the numbers that are on the staging areas, and it doesn't take you long to find the ones that are going the direction that you need to go. Once you're there, there's a couple of people that are hiring, and looking for anything from guards, some for, you know, sergeants of the guard, and some even for bodyguards themselves. So, what y'all doing?
Quite trying to get hired on as a bodyguard since I'm big.
Yeah, I'm assuming someone just comes up to Zig and asks him.
Okay.
He's just standing around.
No problem. So this is what you guys can do. Either make a charisma persuasion check, or make a strength athletics check. One of the, either one.
General Guard, see how that goes.
Right. So, Tack, with your show of strength, it looks like that you have been hired to work one of the carts as a sergeant. So essentially, you're going to be in charge of a group of guards. It's going to be 8 gold per 10 day, and also food and living expenses. Zig is actually picked as a personal bodyguard for a fur trader. The lucky part about that is that you get to essentially sit in the cart with him, and your sole responsibility is to keep him alive at all costs. And then Zazer is again also hired. And by the way, it's 10 gold per 10 days, so you're getting a gold per day to be a personal bodyguard.
100.
Yes, we'll see how long this takes. We got it.
100 each.
Yeah, sure. Now they kind of wonder if they made a mistake.
Bread bag monkey.
Bread bag monkey. All right, so that's Zig, and then both Zazer and Toe are both at 8 GP per 10 day, and then Axia is also 8 GP per 10 day. So, I gotta roll for this guy over here, because I keep forgetting that he's there, and I should do the things that he has. Oh wow, his skills are what they are. Survival. So his persuasion is that, and his athletics is that. Well, that's what he's going to go with, because that gives him the best. All right. And then he gets hired on as also a bodyguard. So Nutdrock also gets picked up as a... Now, Zig, the person that you work for is essentially this kind of crass fellow. He has 2 wagons to his name.
What's his name?
His name is Achreny.
Can't say that.
Achreny.
Letters?
Yes. But this dude is like...
ACH.
Yeah, Ak. Sure.
Ah,
Just call him Ahmed.
just ACH.
Yeah. So he hires you on. He also hires on.
Hey,
He hires on Zazer as his sergeant as well.
Saddles.
And Zig as his personal bodyguard. Now, Nutdrock is picked up by an individual who is a bird salesman, which sounds absolutely crazy, but that's exactly what he is. He already has another guard for general protection of his stuff.
wait, Nutdrock is where? I'll write it down for him.
He's with the individual that he's working for is named Owen Evanmore. Oyn.
And he's a bird salesman.
Yep.
Okay.
A very, very opinionated man. And he does have another individual, but she is not there at the moment. So that's Nutdrock is taken care of. Zig is taken care of, and Zazer's taken care of on their locations. The one... Oh, I'm sorry. I picked the wrong thing there. Another individual, Toe, you were put in charge of a single wagon with 2 guards that you're going to be in charge of. And this is a female moon elf named Ajari Luel that actually hires you. And I just typed in Toe is best on that one. So there's that. And then last but not least, we have Axia, who will be working for... Whoops. Did I get them all? Yeah, that's Toes. Okay, yeah. So the only one actually left is... Oh, yeah, here it is. That's the one. So Toe's in charge of those 2. Got it. Okay. I had all this. I had all the people written down on who gets what. You're actually hired on as a sergeant for a group of people traveling by foot. So on a lot of these things, travelers will travel along with the merchants for the same exact reason that the merchants. So they're not taking their stuff. They're just, maybe they're just moving their family to a new location, or whatever. But either way, they're generally either on horseback or they're walking with part of the group. And you've been hired on as the sergeant to handle a lot of the travelers. You get the lovely ability, essentially, to be in charge of a larger group of a larger group of guards. So you'll have 4 guards that will be working under you to protect these travelers.
Okay.
And the person that actually hired you is a very odd woman who is absolutely green from head to toe. She kind of kept herself hidden as best as possible. She was wearing gloves, had a hood that covered her face, but her hair, her skin, her eyes, nails, everything that you could see was green. So her chin, her teeth, her tongue, eyes were green. Everything was green from as near as what you could tell. And her name, she calls herself Imsa, sorry. IMSA.
Okay.
All right.
The green lady.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, so essentially for the bodyguard, you'll make 10 gold for basically 1 gold a day. For the rest
100.
of you... I'm sorry?
100?
Yeah.
Each.
Okay.
Each. Yeah. So after you get your assignments and everything, you're told to where you're which you've already kind of seen the location and where you all need to kind of be. And where where you're supposed to be. And once you get there, or once you kind of get set up and settled for the night, Axia, after a little bit of time, after you're done kind of pleading your case and showing your strength and getting your assignments and all that and getting hired on to this convoy that's leaving in the morning, there's a commotion that you hear, like on the outskirts of the outer city, that you kind of investigate, and you find that sure enough there's this bear that's just kind of meandering through the city. Not attacking, not yelling at anyone, not growling. It's just walking and minding its own business.
Okay, I'm gonna go up and like bow and tell her. I'm guessing it's a her.
It's a bear, so it's hard to tell
Okay.
from this angle.
And tell her or tell the bear that the ice daggers have vetted me.
He kind of lets out of a short kind of like a growl, and then kind of motions for you to follow. Essentially, just kind of does a little head jerk and turns in the direction in which it was currently jerking its head.
Okay.
Giving it a follow?
Yep, I'm gonna follow.
So after you kind of find a more quiet area, she is indeed female as she changes out of her initial visage, and essentially a very, she's not young. She looks to be within her 50s, so likely been around for a while. Obviously can turn into a bear, so that's a thing that she can do. And there's a lot of wisdom in her eyes. You can just kind of tell by looking at her that she has seen and or heard some things and has dealt with some stuff. And her voice, while she couldn't speak as a bear, it seems like she doesn't quite lose her full bareness, even in her human form. Her voice is very, very rough. So the ice daggers.
Yes.
What brought you to us then? What
would
about
like to-
us?
I would like to join your faction.
Indeed. But what brought you to us?
I just feel of all the factions that I have investigated, that yours would fit me the best, and I could be the most help to you guys.
She kind of stops and while you're explaining, and her not elderly, but her eyes just kind of watch, like, it's almost creepy because she's kind of eyeing like every piece of your body as you're kind of explaining this to her. It's like, you seem ready to strike at any time. You seem prepared even in this place.
I always try to stay prepared, because you never know what could happen
Yes,
at any given time.
as it is in nature. Fine. I see something in you. It's blurry. But I see something. So I will impart upon you this, because I will be honest. I do not like being in this form anymore. And she kind of reaches into her gown and pulls out a small wooden carving of the Emerald Enclave symbol and hands it over to you. You are one of us now. Seek out those that are like us, and they shall surely give you succor. And as soon as she says that, she just completely, just right before your eyes, melds back into bear form. And kind of takes one step towards you, takes her muzzle, and just kind of pokes you in the side, and turns and kind of just meanders back into the main thoroughfare where everyone's rocking around. And quite amusingly, scaring the crap out of some drunk that was walking down the street that she just kind of walked out right in front of, and oh god! And then the bear just kind of looks at him and then just continues on its merry way.
Like, who let the bear loose in the city? Who let the bear out?
Arr, arr, arr. Okay. So with that, we're a little bit before 11. You guys are set up. The rest of your evening, unless you have any plans for anything else, the rest of your evening is going to be pretty quiet. Outside of, drinking and carrying on that seems to happen in this part of the city pretty much every night you've been here. A lot of people getting that one last hoorah in before they're off on the road for quite some time and possibly not getting to drink for quite a while. So
Zig will take Zaza to the Temple District before we leave.
Oh, perfect.
okay, just for shiggles or
To show him the statue of his god
okay,
soon.
gotcha.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. Yeah, and that's, you'll have time like before all this happens, so that's something that easily could have been fit in while everything else was going on. So yeah, the Temple District basically kind of being the most religious part there. So yeah,
They've got temples to every god in Baldur's Gate as well, right? Even the more evil ones.
pretty much. Well, they're Baldur's Gate has this whole history with some things and whatnot, so we won't dig too deep into that, but yeah, so that is going to call it for tonight, y'all. I think that's a good spot for us to end before we start the journey north. You made your way all the way across, got hired on as some guards, and it looks like you are ready to head out first thing in the morning on your grand adventure, following these people as part of this group. So that's where we are. I want to thank everybody for hanging out there in the chat. Thank you very much for hanging out with us and spending some time with us. I hope you were entertained with, especially dealing with the fact that, Zig and some ogres had a very mentally stimulating conversation. To say the very least. Remember, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. You only have one life to live, so does everyone else around you. try to make their lives a little bit better than what it was when we got there. Or at a minimum, just don't make it worse. I'll see y'all later. Have a great night and have some sleeps if you want some. Or don't if you don't. I'm not in charge of you.
The eye rests. It has shown you all it can for now. This is not a time for sorrow, but a time for joy. When one chapter ends, another must always begin. Ponder upon the lessons you have just witnessed, and heed its wisdom. Apply it to your lives. Go forth, be well, and do good towards the others that enter your story. Let your chapter and their book